So, the lectionary readings this morning, we're looking at Job chapter 23, Psalms 22, Hebrews 4, and Mark's Gospel chapter 10, verse to 31. So let's look at Job first of all. One of the things we see here very clearly this morning is that there is persecution. It says, "Then Job answered and said, Even today my complaint is bitter. My hand is listless because of my groaning. Oh, that I knew where I might find him, that I might come to his seat. I would present my case before him and fill my mouth with arguments." And that's what's happening sometimes when we're going through life and we find that we have problems and the darkness comes over us and we have all manner of things that come against us. We kind of fill our mouth with argument that, why me, God? Why am I going through stuff? What is it about me? I'm going through this problem. I'm a Christian. I should be protected. God should be looking after me. What is the problem? Why are you letting me go through all this stuff? And it's almost like we're praying to the ceiling, because there doesn't seem to be any answers coming, like we're in the wilderness, like we're wandering around and there don't seem to be anybody there. Is there anyone there? And that's the kind of reaction. Of course, when God is silent, sometimes it is because he expects us to go through the wilderness time, and it is a time of testing. And that's what was happening here with Job. Job has been tested. He is being tested. He's being sifted like wheat. And God has allowed Satan to sift Job. And God also allows us. This is an account which helps us to understand that God allows Satan to sift us. God allows us as believers to be tested. And who is it for? Is it for God? Do you think God actually sits on his throne looking down upon us thinking, okay, I'll just test this one today and see how well they do? Like a load of pawns on a chessboard. We'll put this one forward and see if they die, and we'll see if this one works. I don't believe that God is like that. The testing that comes is for us to be tested, but it's for our own benefit, and it's also to glorify God and to let Satan know that we are really God's children. But it's for us really that we're tested. And there's that saying that says whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, I think this is where it came from Job's account here with Satan, that Satan could do anything he wanted to Job to try and get him to curse God and die, but he wasn't to kill him. It wasn't to take his life. And of course what happened is that all of this did actually make Job stronger. He became a much stronger person, and he was able to continue to praise God and to love God, even though at times things were very hard and he did feel as though he was alone. Here he feels obviously very alone, very isolated. He has his mouth filled with arguments. Why is it going to happen? Why is this happening to me? But there is also a yearning there. The next verse, in verse 5, says, "I would know the words which he would answer me, and understand what he would say to me." So there you are. In that you can tell that Job is saying that, if only I could know what God's thinking. If only I could know what's going on. I don't understand all this stuff. It's really interesting, because I listened to another preacher the other night, and he was talking about a time when he was arrested. Well, guess what? Here's another pastor who was arrested. 7:30 in the morning, my children had gone on holiday with my wife, and I was on my own, knocked up, and the police were at the door, and I suddenly find that I'm arrested, and I'm a pastor, and I get taken into the police station, and I don't know what's happening. I haven't got a clue what it's about. I'm thinking maybe I haven't paid a parking ticket or something. Maybe I've had a speeding fine or something. I haven't known about it and I'm being taken in. I had no clue because they wouldn't tell me what was wrong. And I'm in a situation where I get arrested, I get taken into the police station, and all my things are taken away, and I'm put in a cell, and I have got no clue why I'm there until 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the afternoon. We are carted upstairs into the courtroom before the judge, and then I'm told then why I've actually been arrested. So I've been in prison all day. Nobody knew. I didn't know if I was ever coming out. I didn't know what it was about. I had no idea. And then I'm before the judge, and I'm then have the issue actually read out in the court, and suddenly I'm told that I haven't got a TV license. And I thought, sure, at the back of the mind that I did have a TV license, but I couldn't actually produce it at the time. I didn't even know why I was there. I was thinking it was something to do with the car. And so I did say that I believe I have got a TV license. Well, our records show clearly that you don't have a TV license, and therefore we're going to fine you, and you're going to have to pay £100 fine. And so I agreed to pay the fine, and they let me go. I got out of court about 4:30. When I got home, I find I do have a TV license. Somebody had made a mistake. There I was in the prison, considering all these things and what are people going to think about me because I'm a pastor, and also the fact that nobody knew I was there and I didn't know what was going to go on. Well, I got my money back eventually, and they were supposed to give me some recompense for my time in prison and so on, which went to the Home Office. That was about 15 years ago now. I still haven't heard anything, but there you go. Apparently when you put things into the Home Office, it takes a long time. So we didn't get any kind of reimbursement for our time in prison, or the inconvenience or the problems that happened, but yeah, that's another story. But that kind of despair of why is this happening to me? I'm a Christian. Not only am I a Christian, I'm actually a leader in the church. I'm a pastor of a church. And the shame of being arrested. For a start, my neighbours, I'm thinking, what are they thinking? Secondly, me as a pastor, I'm thinking, what happens if this hits the papers? He hasn't paid his parking fine, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness. So many things go through your mind, and you think, what are you doing, God? What's going on? Why am I going through this stuff? Why am I going through this valley? But the thing is, that's what does happen to Christians. It happens to Christians all the time. Have I had any persecutions since then? Whether they were accidents, whether they were people actually coming against me, whether it was an evil influence or whatever. Yes, of course. Of course I have. And people who say, well, when you become a Christian, you don't have any more problems, they really haven't got a hold on reality. Because that's not true. That is absolutely not true. That we will be persecuted. And there are forces of evil that come against us. And we need to realise that. And it's to sift us, and it's to prove to them that we really are true believers. So it's not only for Satan, it's for our benefit too, so that we grow through that experience and our faith is tested and we grow. We grow in faith. Faith is like a muscle. It needs to be exercised. And so that's what was happening. This is what's happening here with Job. And it's the same for each of us today. We have to have our faith tested, and we grow through that experience. And our faith gets stronger. Whatever doesn't kill us makes us stronger. And I believe that's absolutely true. The important thing to remember is that God didn't prevent it. That's the point. God didn't prevent this from happening. He allowed it to happen. And so just because we become Christians doesn't mean to say we're out of the fire. We are actually going to go through stuff, and we are going to feel that God is away from us and we can't hear him.